1990s, China Railway was a symphony of clatter and coal, powered by foreign engines and foreign ideas. Fast forward 3 decades, and this is the phase of progress. Meet the CR450. Its AI-driven system anticipates hazard millisecond before they can happen. Its lightweight carbon aluminum body glides with the efficiency of a jet, and its energy recovery system harnesses braking power to recharge its old batteries. This isn't just a train, it's a self-learning ecosystem. Designed to hit 450 km per hour or 250 miles per hour, it slashes travel time dramatically. A trip from New York to DC would take only 1 hour. Faster even than flying, since air travel includes airport procedures. The CR450 is a feat of engineering that seemed unimaginable just a while ago, considering China's rail system still runs on coal power relics in the 90s. In under 20 years, they literally went from how do train work to producing train running so fast and smoothly we can do this. So, how did a country leap from the steam age to the AI age in a single generation? To fully grasp this, let's rewind the clock a little. In the 90s, while Japan, Germany, and France was busy racing to introduce the fastest models of high-speed trains, China was quietly mastering the art of modesty with its fleet of iconic green trains, most of which ran on an average of 60 km per hour or 37 miles per hour, slower even to cars on a highway. The trains were old, slow, and overcrowded. A trip from Shanghai to Beijing would take 20+ hours. And although a 24-hour train ride filled with clattering wheels and lungs full of coal dust has its charm, China's economy needed a better logistics system. Factories needed goods move faster, and cities needed workers connected. Then, something changed. In 2004, China's government introduced the Medium and Long-Term Railway Network Plan. It was the foundation, setting strategies and ambitious goals, such as building the world's largest high-speed rail network or developing indigenous technology. Spoiler alert, they blew past those goals like a CR450 blasting through speed limit. Since then, China's high-speed rail network went from virtually non-existent before 2008 to over 45,000 kilometers in 2024, accounting for 2/3 of the world networks, carrying more passengers each year than the entire global airline industry. But how do you build a system this massive, this quick? First rule, have a centralized government calling the shots. China's centralized system means few debates, few lawsuits, and more action. For China, building a high-speed rail network wasn't just about trains. It was a national priority. China's government doesn't mess around when it sets its mind to something. It sets strict deadlines and makes sure they were on schedule. When the government says, "We're building a train line here," it happens fast. The Beijing-Shanghai line, for example, a total of 1,300 kilometers of tracks, bridges, and tunnels, was completed in just 3 years. For perspective, in the US, 3 years is how long it takes to approve a new subway station. The California's high-speed rail project, for example, approved in 2008, is now a $100 billion zombie, half-built, hated by politicians, and mocked by Elon Musk. Funding fights, legal battles, and political squabbles have turned what was supposed to be a shining example of American innovation into a cautionary tale. Building a high-speed rail network isn't cheap. Between 2004 and 2020, China spent over $500 billion on its high-speed rail system, and the government didn't blink. With a booming economy and state-controlled banks, China has cash to fund its ambitions. Projects were often financed through debt, with less emphasis on immediate profitability. Why? Because China and the West view railway very differently. In the West, railways are typically viewed as a revenue-generating investment, with primary focus on profitability. While China considers railway as part of the infrastructure system, that is foundation of economic and social development. High-speed rail connect underdeveloped regions like Xinjiang or Tibet to coastal hubs, reducing inequality and boosting tourism. The Chinese government considers railroads as a basic service to the people. That's why China high-speed rail tickets are 60 to 70% cheaper than Japan Shinkansen and 30 to 50% cheaper than European high-speed rail for similar distances. In the US, the oil, auto, and airline industry resist rail investment, since having a powerful high-speed rail network means less profit for them. The car-centric culture and this lobbying effort limit demand for intercity rail. Workers and material cost less than in Japan and Europe. China per kilometer high-speed rail construction costs are estimated to be only one-third of those in Europe. Building a massive network also allows for both purchasing of materials and standardized designs, reducing costs per kilometers. Think Costco boat buying, but for railroads. Here's the cost comparison between the California high-speed rail project and the Beijing-Shanghai line project. The California projects aim to build 8 kilometers or 520 miles of track connecting San Francisco to LA. The original estimated cost of $33 billion has now ballooned to over $128 billion, almost 4 times more than the cost of the Beijing-Shanghai line, even though the length is shorter. In most countries, building high-speed rail means fighting landowners. Land fights can derail projects for decades. But in China, the government owns the land, so negotiations are simpler. Farmers got new home, pensions, and job guarantees. Laws such as the Land Administration Law enabling expropriation for public interest projects, with compensation rates set by the state. The entire corridors were cleared efficiently, enabling engineers to focus on construction rather than legal disputes. In Europe, this is not so easy. Compensation for landowners, relocation costs, and legal expenses are high. High-speed rail projects also face strict environmental regulation and opposition from environmental groups. Take the Stuttgart 21 project in Germany. The project turned to a riot zone in 2010. Protesters camped in trees, clashed with police. Massive weekly protests drew up to 100,000 people, becoming one of Germany's largest post-war demonstrations. The reason? Local was mad because the project felt like a pricey, eco-unfriendly gamble that wrecked their favorite spots, all for the train upgrade they didn't think they needed. China didn't invent high-speed rail. They learned from the best. In the early 2000s, China partnered with foreign firms, for example, Siemens of Germany and Kawasaki of Japan, through joint ventures and technology transfer agreements. These agreements require foreign companies to share technologies in exchange for access to China's vast market. For example, Kawasaki transferred Shinkansen technology for the CRX-2 trains, while Siemens contributed to the CRX-3 model. This allowed China to reverse engineer, absorb, and adapt the technology to China's local needs. By 2010, the Fuxinghao was born, a homegrown train that is faster, cheaper, and 100% Chinese. In less than 20 years, China has reached a level of technology that took others over 100 years to reach. Though controversial, this method enabled China to lead for foundational research and development. China's high-speed rail success is a mix of bold vision, deep pockets, and a system that prioritizes action over debate. It's not perfect. There's concern about debt, displacement, and whether all those shiny new train lines are actually profitable, but there's no denying the scale of what they have achieved. So next time you're stuck in traffic or waiting for a delayed flight, just imagine what it would be like to hop on a train that goes 450 kilometers per hour. That's the future China has built, and it's pretty impressive.